Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Going good. How about you?
Oh, we have two guests.
Can you hear me fine, Max?
I can hear you now. I did not hear you before.
Okay, cool.
How's it going?
Going good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad it's a long weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
It is warm. Uh, are you are you in SF or you're Seattle? I
I'm
feel
I'm
like.
in Seattle. It's hot here as well. Like a couple of days ago, I went outside and my ears were kind of burning. Yeah.
Hey, JD, thank you for the help yesterday.
Yep.
It's what?
You're welcome.
Passing all tests now. Well, except for the vulnerability one, for the vulnerabilities one.
Oh yeah, I am planning to fix it today. Raise a PR.
Sounds good?
Yeah. You can also do it if you want to. Just update the dependency in your PR, and we can review and merge it.
I'll do it tomorrow. I'm already outside working hours. This is not my office. This is my living room.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I'll do it. No worries.
And this one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's our first meeting.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Already a programmer, eh? Look at you.
Yeah, working hard. Almost 2.5 months old.
Oh, she's adorable.
Thanks. So how does it usually work? Like, so I guess like some of you are from Microsoft in your daily life, and some of you are probably from Syria, right?
No Styra people here today. I'm from Google. Surtesh and Jay are from Microsoft. Styra does show up from time to time. It's been a few weeks, I think, since I've seen them last. Um, yeah, and normally we, kill some time for the first few minutes while people show up. And then
So join or just like Google and Microsoft?
I mean, anyone can join. We're regulars, like more often than not, we'll show up. The people who are here show up.
I see.
Modulo vacations and whatnot.
Can you guys maybe tell me? I don't know if I should wait for more people, but can you tell me like when you update, like when you get a new release for Gatekeeper, how long does it take until the Microsoft and Google tools also update it? I mean, like, you have a new release with Gatekeeper. I just added another flag. How long before Google policy or Azure policy, whatever they call it, um, also have the same flag?
I can't speak for Microsoft, but Google, it's kind of Google's discretion, right? Like, if you look at the policy controller, which is Google's forks, the of Gatekeeper that it offers, you could see it kind of pins upstream commit hash for the release, and so that's the one that it uses.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Welcome. Are you is this your first time trying to call?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, welcome.
No, I'm not going to be a regular.
I think I joined a little late. I think you were asking about timeline cadence, right? Yeah, so we do work with the team that manages the rollout of new Gatekeeper releases. Usually there is a cadence, but not always the same. So pretty much same with all the other clients. Yeah, we try to make sure it's not too far behind.
Thank you so much.
For sure.
Is there a particular feature, if you don't mind me asking, is there a particular feature that you're interested in?
Yeah, so the alpha feature of emit admission events.
Oh,
Got
the
it.
events. Oh, I see.
Oh,
I
are we
tried
talking?
I tried to enable it on my GCP, the GKE cluster, and it didn't work. So I assume it's just not there yet.
That one may just not have been enabled. So this is okay. So these are Kubernetes events. These are not like pub sub events that we're talking about. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. When was this?
I think we just don't enable by default for those. I don't remember why. I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, because the events code is,
Is
I want
the
to say, years old at this point.
It's really old. I think it's because there were some clobbering issues, if you remember.
Yeah.
Because events, there is a limit, right, to how many events you can generate. So depending on sort of like the violating resource and the namespace, all of that, there could be a situation where it might be clobbering.
Yeah, and also events similar to reporting violations on resource, like necessarily there's a maximum amount of information they can give you, right? So after a certain scale, if you consider your event stream as like a source of truth, showing like the complete violation set, at some point that will no longer be accurate. That doesn't mean events are not useful, right? Like they can give you signal. It's just
Yeah, it helps for debugging.
sorry, good?
And it helps for debugging and understanding, whether my policy works or not and whatnot.
Yeah, I think events are events still in alpha, Rita? Is that like we kind of got to alpha and then didn't go
I
for it?
think it's just
Yeah.
because the clobbering aspect of it, we thought that it's not as authoritative. Like I think in general, if you want more accuracy, looking at the status violations in the constraints are probably more authoritative than
Right.
event.
This is also limited though.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can configure that.
Logs, as far as I know, are the it's not that you can't hit
Oh, right.
a limit with logs, but it's a much higher limit. But yeah, so the alpha state would be, now I'm remembering, that's why GKE doesn't have a knob there, is that we wouldn't, I don't think we ever have. Correct me if someone knows I'm wrong, but we wouldn't enable an alpha feature without some kind of strong reason, just because we wouldn't want to have people rely on something that might change significantly in open source. So yeah, if we want to make it stable, I don't personally see a reason why that knob shouldn't exist in GKE. I don't know what you know, if overall the system would necessarily agree with me, like I can't make product promises about GKE on the open source call, and I can't like commit to any kind of timeline either. But personally, I wouldn't see any reason.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, we built the pub-sub system to avoid the clobbering stuff specifically. For one of the reasons, I would say. Yeah, and then with pub-sub, you can do any of the what was it called, brokers, to be able to like go to Redis or whatever you want, basically.
Yes, so I was actually looking at inserting the admission events to PubSub. You know, not only the audit events, but this is way too much for me at my current state. I'm pretty new to Go, and I might go back to that later on. But for now, events are perfect. Like they're perfectly good for me, and maybe later.
Oh yeah, and then just to call out, we don't have admission events in PubSub. Yeah, only audit. Yeah,
Just go.
Exactly. This is pretty cool, though. I have to say, way to go, guys. The whole project is pretty cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yay, users. This is why we hang out in open source. We need more users coming to these calls now. This is the energy field right there. Feel the energy, yes. All right. Anything else? Yeah, you want to discuss, Dor, or should we move on to other topics?
No, that's everything I need. I have a PR open
Okay.
where I added the allow events, not only the denies. So I hope you guys can take a look later.
Okay, will do.
One one thought about that. I haven't looked at the PR, but just hearing that concept, because we talked about throttling, or with that events have, or replacing. Both are true actually. Like if there's too many create event requests, and I forget what it is, what the thresholds are, but the create events client will throttle, right? So it'll just like stop even trying to send events to the K8s API server in order to avoid, you know, DOSing the API server. So the number of K8s admission events, if you have like a lot of controllers on the cluster, can be quite high. So I would probably recommend, if we were to do something like this, one it should be like enable, not like on by default for sure. But two, some kind of filtering for the allow events may be helpful. Just to, if there's,
How about instead of just a Boolean, maybe it's going to be an array that says the kinds of involved objects?
yeah, like that, yeah.
Okay, I'll do that. Still good for me. Thank you.
Mhm.
You mean only? Sorry again. Only for the allowed events, right? Only for the ones that pass, not for the denies. I'm gonna leave the existing code.
Yeah, like I mean, as I said, I haven't read the PR. I've only thought about this for like the 5 minutes we've been talking about it. So, like, please don't hold me to what I'm like saying. But
I think the main issue I had is that once you you enable those events for allowing, when you send an event, it's also an allow event, because you allow the event itself.
Yeah, I forget if events are subject to admission control. Like, it would kind of surprise me if they weren't. But they're also not a state affecting object, so I could imagine it both ways. Sorry, you were gonna say?
I'm saying they are by default apparently, because that's how I found it out.
Interesting. Okay, so so you can get like infinite recursion of an allow event creates an event, which creates an allow event, which creates an event without filtering. That's funny.
No, so it doesn't. It's not infinite. It's just I see the in the logs. I see the events of the allowing, but it doesn't repeat. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe because of the aggregation.
Probably aggregation.
Yeah, it might be aggregation, might be throttling. Like as I said, like after so many QPS or however they're counting it, the client will just stop sending events too.
I see. Okay, could be. So I think the array solution can be a good idea.
Sorry, what solution could?
Of providing an array of kinds that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that kind of thing. The only thing that I'm like hesitant about is I haven't thought through like how to configure it, what other filters people might want in the future, and how that might interact with putting it in a flag, right? And I'm not sure I can like dream up the edge cases like off the cuff.
Okay.
I see. Oh, okay. In the chat, I saw that. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, Yi, but she's asking for an exact 3.17 release date, and Rita is saying July 30th. I don't think chat shows up in the recordings of the meetings. That's why I'm
Speaking of,
narrating.
let's I'm adding it to the agenda to look at the milestones.
Cool.
Just curious, are you looking for anything specific in the 3.17 release?
Yes, 3.17.
Yeah, are you looking for any feature or like a bug fix in the in 3.17?
No,
Just
because we are creating the gatekeeper operator, so we need a we want to skip the 3.16. So
I see.
that's,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and then if you need anything, we constantly produce releases for every like a main branch merge. So basically, you can use any of the images there, like if you're testing or anything like that.
Okay, thanks.
Great. Jay, do you want to go through your list?
Oh yeah, it's just a reminder that I can use some reviews on library PRs, and those three are like completely done. So, if you guys can look at it, and I'm still working through feedback and like gatekeeper changes for VAP fields and whatnot. So.
Yeah, sorry for getting distracted on the library PRs.
Yeah, same. And good job for fixing the CI. That thing was bugging me. Yeah.
Thanks.
I was like, everything's red.
Speaking of PRs, there's also David Jaeun Lee.
It's
Is
on my
the
to-do list. I saw it coming in. Thanks. Please tell him thanks for updating that. I know that's another PR we've been waiting for.
yeah, that one might also fix the flakiness race
Yes.
condition.
I was
Yeah.
excited to see he came back to it. Very
So
happy.
for context, there's for people who aren't aware, there's our E2E test, or sorry, our CI, our unit test. That's the word. Still waking up. had an occasional failure where it said like warning data race using Golang's like race condition analysis tools. There's not actually a symptom of a race condition in Gatekeeper live. It's just that the test client and the way that testing runs in Golang, the controller runtime test client, the way testing runs in Golang, there's creating multiple test clients caused a non-thread safe object to be hit by multiple test threads. So those spurious rejections should go away. Cool. Anyway, as long as people are aware of it, is there anything else we wanted to talk about?
If folks have time, can we go through the the backlog for 317?
By the way, I moved all of them. These were all in 316. I moved all of them in bulk to 317.
Great. Let me. Do you want me to share screen, or I can share screen?
Yeah, sure. And then I'll create a 318. And then we can just move if
sure.
you can.
Sounds good. Can I share screen here? Let me know when you can see.
We can see.
Great. All right. So I just quickly went through the PRs. I put this one. Wait, hold on. Where is the one that David's doing? This one. Yeah, I put this one in 317. Are there other ones that should be? Jay, do you think you need to have this before 317? Sorry, I put you on the spot, but this is kind of important, right? Because we can't not have it for the VAP stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll get to it as
All
quickly as.
Any other ones?
Yeah.
We need to have?
There's one more for generate VAP field that should be up a little. That should also go in 317.
Which one?
Adding generate VAP. Let me share the number.
This one?
Yes.
Yes. That one is basically just moving everything to Gatekeeper, right? From framework?
No, in this one, I'm not moving everything from frameworks. It's just using those changes that we merged in frameworks. Uh,
Oh, okay. So you're just bumping framework?
yeah, and
I see.
implementing flag on gatekeeper side to define bind generation for binding behavior.
Okay.
So
Another.
we're deferring, actually just migrating the code from frameworks to Gatekeeper.
I was thinking I could do it later, or
Yeah,
after this PR is merged as a follow.
yeah, that's fine. Just if we wind up modifying the driver more, making that migration first will save us a couple of review cycles, right? Because we could stop with the dual PR stuff. But yeah, no reason not to do it how you're suggesting.
Yeah, we only have a few weeks left, and we need to have like the last week for RC, right?
Yeah.
So need to be realistic about what we can do, I guess. All right. Any other ones that must go in 317?
So we're saying that enforcement actions or scoped enforcement actions as a whole will get in, right? That was
Well, because
shot at.
yeah,
Was that?
Because this is the only way you will get the VAP generation
Yeah.
at the constraint level.
I mean, without that, we are using that flag, right? So with
Oh, right,
the,
right, right.
so
Yes.
yeah, scoped enforcement action, I mean, I'll try to get it in,
Okay.
but it should be fine. But we need generate VAP field and removal of annotation and other stuff before 370.
Right, but it's all or nothing, right? Like, so.
Yeah. The flag is all or nothing. So
Right.
I would like to have the scoped enforcement actions in as well.
Makes sense. Okay, well, let's try, and if not, but let's try. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ones here that anyone thinks has to go into 317?
If any of those chores fix CVEs.
Yes. Yes. This is becoming a sore subject for me, so.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was not aware.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should do it. You should check before release.
Yeah. I mean, but those like we could do whenever, right? Like it's not a big chunk of reviews time. I think that's why I'm not marking it as 317, I guess.
Yeah.
Unless someone says like this is really important, please go look. Okay, if there's nothing else, what was the other one? Okay, here. Already.
Sorry, can I ask something?
Yeah.
So the web, when is the web graduate from ARPA? Is it this 3.17?
Good question. Where we made significant changes though from 16 to 17.
Mm-hmm.
I would think we need to wait a bit for beta, I guess. I don't know. What do y'all think?
Generation has changed significantly. I don't know if source has changed significantly. Like there may have been some bug fixes around like the order of definition of variables in terms of how things are evaluated. But that wouldn't be like a breaking change in terms of like the API for the code, the cell code having changed. So for the perspective of someone using like VAP, like Kubernetes VAP, that may be different than someone who just wants to start using that language, right, as like a first step to migrating to
Yeah, so
using.
just this part basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this part doesn't change or hasn't changed to your point. It is very much this part is going to change, especially this.
Yeah.
I guess like maybe the other question is like, are you blocked because it's not beta yet?
Oh, to me? Ask
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not a blocking because a lot of customer ask me, they're really waiting for the web, so they just want to know when is the released officially.
Do you know, are they interested in using the actual like VAP on cluster enforcement and having Gatekeeper manage it? Or are they just like, when can I start updating my templates to use VAP stuff so I'm ready for it?
I think most of our customers from big companies, so they want like a stable state. So they don't want to like adventure. So
Mhm.
Right. Oh,
So even
which,
is not good.
sorry.
sorry.
I'm saying even beta, I mean, we deal with a lot of these cases too, right? So even beta, they're really looking for stable. Like GA.
Yeah, maybe I should talk to our team trying to use the better. Maybe we should test it. Yeah, okay. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, I'm okay with moving to beta for what it's worth. I just don't think I'm definitely not okay with stable though.
Well, I would want to know specifically what functionality people are interested in, right? Like if it's just the language, I think we have enough information now to know that we're safe. If it's the generation stuff, like probably it's good, but because
Yeah.
there's these syntax changes and scoped enforcement actions, like who knows what we'll discover in terms of like usability that users may have feedback on, right? So knowing which target we would want to get to beta, right? Which bits of functionality might change the degree of risk, you know?
Hmm.
So yeah, do you have clarity on specifically what users are looking to do here?
They just don't want to use Lego.
Ah, okay. Okay, so it's more the language bit
Yeah,
than the enforcement point. Okay.
And also, I'm not sure we can recommend like a better with uh, our company policy. So uh, maybe I should talk to my leaders. This one. Okay.
Yeah. But language, that's good to hear because language I think is a lower lift.
Mm-hmm. So this one is not going to be a big change, right?
Well,
Right, as far as I'm
this
aware,
part
the
is
which
this
part?
part is a user change. If you're just using VAP integration without the generation piece, then yeah, this didn't change. The user experience didn't change. But the generation part there is a change, and that's why we're saying, we want to wait a little
Oh, okay.
because
Gotcha.
the user, the flags actually changed.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
So the language level changes that I'm aware of, the most recent ones, we've added any object as a field, just so we have a one-to-one equivalent to how Rego behaves. And we have
We need to update this when we cut 317. When
was
we
it
cut 317, we need to update this because the any object thing.
right? Oh! Did we unset old object? I think we did, but I'd need to double check. That's something that might change otherwise. Right, like we need to, because right now, if object is nil, we set it to old object for everything. We should undo that for VAP, just so that we have equivalent behavior evaluated locally versus evaluated by K8s API server. I forget if we got to that stage.
To be compatible with Rego's logic, right?
Well, the any object is the thing that's compatible with Rego's object, right? Because any object like embraces the behavior of if object is nil, use old object. But the object keyword for cell needs to just straight up use what's in the admission review, so that it doesn't have a different value depending on if you're running in the K8s API server versus running in Gatekeeper.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget if we followed through on that. I need to double check that. The other change that I'm aware of, oh gosh, it's flipping. It's fleeing my mind. I think it was a while back, though. Huh. Anyone recall what the changes were to the driver? I could just look at the code, I guess.
The language part?
Yeah.
Since 316, you mean?
Just generally, I was trying to remember so I could give some guidance about how stable we actually have been. Package.
Any object.
And drivers, Excel, history.
I think it's I think it's just the any object thing, right? I don't see any other than that, it's just a refactor. Which one is this? Yeah, this is all for any object. Yep.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's.
Then you have others. No, yeah. So given that, do we want to bump to beta for 317? And I'm saying this because then we can strive for GA for 318. Otherwise, we have to wait another release.
I'm fine with it. Yeah, let me just double check about the whole like any object being
Okay.
unset. I don't think. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I need to check because I don't see it in this PR, but maybe it got done elsewhere.
Okay. All right. So I hope that answered your question, E.
Yes, thanks.
Yep. And then coming back to this, I'm guessing this one we can move to the next. Can we move to the next release?
Yeah, I don't think anybody's working on this.
Right. Actually, let me
I
just
think Xander was going to do it.
right. And then this one.
Is that a doc change or yeah? Oh no, that's
All right. Just moving it.
Guys, I just want to ask, it's okay, about the events. So we said that it's been like a long time since it became alpha, right? The committed mission events. Do you think there's a chance it will be in beta like soon, 318 or something? What would be the timeline for that?
So I think the threshold for between alpha and beta is, as far as I'm concerned, API stability, right? Like if we know that, if we believe we have sort of sussed out the edge cases and have like a good feeling that users can probably like rely on this and there won't be like surprises that cause them like to need to significantly refactor in order to like keep using the thing. I think for me that is the main reason to justify switching from alpha to beta. For events, and it's been a long time, but I think that would mean the structure of the event object should be stable. Probably how events are configured should be at least somewhat stable, right? Like hopefully like just we increase the configuration knobs in the future such that users can like not touch their config and keep having the same behavior. Yeah, so that's how I would look at it. Also maybe like deduplication behavior, like just getting that stable. I forget where we're at on that journey. Does anyone else remember?
For events specifically, right? Or
Yeah.
I don't remember. I think the reason why it was alpha because of the clobbering thing, and also we were trying to point people to logs, right? Like even the violations on constraints, I think it's incomplete, right? It's limited. So we were always saying for the complete solution, use logs. Yeah.
Yeah. I was never like, oh, therefore don't use these other things. I was just like, especially at the time, people were like, hey, can I just do this? And there are no drawbacks. Like, no, there's drawbacks. Be aware. you will you will be getting like a potentially incomplete view. But if that works for you, great.
Does work for me. I think I believe that if I'll be watching the events the whole time, like actually watch them and not just do some polling, I might be able to avoid much of the clobbering. I won't be able to reduce the throttling, but I will be able to cache most of the events.
Well, you'll be able to see the events you can see, but the throttling will be like almost completely invisible to you. Like I'm not even sure throttling will write out a log to like the standard out logs of the host that's throttling itself.
Right, that's the same issue.
Yeah, but like there are use cases where that's fine. I would say that including
I was checking out
What's
and
that?
they also Datadog, because you can stream events to Datadog and then see it on the Datadog UI. Bet you'll know their product. So I saw that they also just watch the events and stream whatever they can, and if they miss something, then they miss something. What can you do?
Yeah, the problem with throttling then is that you're guaranteed to miss something when activity is at its peak, right? So like as a malicious user, if I wanted to say hide an event, I could create a bunch of requests that are allowed requests, right? And so hit throttling just with allow, then create some requests that should be denied, and rely on the fact that those will be throttled. Which does come to an interesting like point of if you mix the channel, like right now, if events is just purely rejections, then you can make some assumptions, right? You could be like, I only see rejections, and if there's anything that's throttled, that's going to be rejections. And so I know kind of how to interpret. I can interpret it kind of like as a Boolean signal with a little bit of extra debug data for my convenience. If you add allow to that mix, you
But I'm
stop.
saying only the whatever kinds you're interested in. Let's say only namespaces, only pods.
Right. Well, the attack model doesn't change, right? Whether you're exposed to the attack model might change, right? Depending on how you're like are backing namespaces, for instance. But it would basically, and I'm making some assumptions here about how events are being used. Also, it's just that if a user is able to control the sort of curve of what gets put into the events pipeline, and if the mere fact that an event has been published stops being evidence of bad behavior and is maybe a mix of like good behavior and bad behavior, then if that channel has known situations where it kind of goes silent, you stop being able to make any conclusions about the state of enforcement based off of what that channel's doing. Because as I said, like you can, if you are a malicious user, you can effectively alter that curve so that only good requests ever show up. Which, you know, it might not matter depending on how you're using the channel, right? It's just, it changes the kinds of conclusions you can draw from the channel, which limits certain uses.
Hey folks,
Okay.
I bring this conversation back since this list is quite large.
Oh, sorry.
If we have time, we can continue. Is that okay? But Dor, do you mind opening up an issue for this specifically to maybe like let's start the issue discussing what are the blockers for making init event feature into beta/GA, I guess. I think let's capture those blockers. And then we can go from there. Does that sound okay?
Sounds perfect. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry,
And thank you
to-
guys for the assistance. I have to go change some diapers.
Yeah, okay. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye.
Sorry for getting nerd sniped, Rita. It's good to see you, Tor.
Literally every call. So I need to be the bad guy here. Sorry. All right, so looking at this, I think this was I seem to recall this was one of the things that we said it's a good thing to add. This is why this is up in the list. Because we said, remember this is ordered, right, by some priority.
Yeah, the name is out of sync with the proposed solution in the bug, but
Okay, should we rename it?
eventually we're also not actively working on it.
Right.
Yeah, I think Alex was working on it, but then he didn't get a
I don't
chance.
think he is, because I don't think he's
No,
actually.
he's not working on it. He was going to work on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So with that, are we okay with just moving it to one S38? Why do I keep saying one? Because of Kubernetes, I guess.
I would just drop it and we can like re-add it to a milestone when we can like reschedule the work. Like, because if we move it to 318, that's, I don't know who's going to be working on it, right? I would assume we're still going to be distracted by VAP stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's no point on like just moving those together.
I mean, I don't mind doing that, but my fear of dropping it is then it's harder to get back to it. Like meaning
Triage, right? That's the
the triage list is quite large right now.
Yeah, but that's a symptom of the fact that we have more work than capacity. And like,
But I think this is one of the ones that's like even within the triage backlog list, this is one of those that I think at that time we all agreed this is something we should pick up next, like maybe after that.
sure, but that doesn't mean necessarily that remains true, right? Like, honestly, if there was, even if this was on a milestone and there was something that came in that was like more salient for triage, I would choose the more salient thing, right? So it being in the milestone doesn't affect whether or not, at least to me, it would get eyes. What affects whether it gets eyes is like whether people are currently still interested in seeing it, and whether there is like a compelling reason to like work on it now versus sometime in the future, right? Some landscape concern, and whether there is like capacity to do it relative to the other things that need to be done.
Sure.
Which
I guess I just don't want to. I just want to make sure we don't just like drop it completely. Because I think there's enough comments and thumb ups here to, or as long as we come back to the triage list, I guess. But every time we review the triage list, it takes forever.
I mean, we can sort by the thumbs up. So I think that's a good.
Can we?
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, and this is just reality, right? If there's more feature requests than we have capacity to do, then the triage list is going to grow infinitely large. Like, that's just a thing.
I know, I guess what I'm saying is we went through this before and we said it was a good idea to work on it eventually, so I don't want to lose that information.
I mean, the bug doesn't get, even if it gets closed, it doesn't get deleted, you know?
Okay. I'm just saying, like, I foresee us in the future having the exact same conversation again. Yeah. Okay, I mean, I'm happy to remove it. I just think we did the whole discussion already, so if you want to just come back to it in the future and have the same conversation again, it kind of.
It would waste less time actually to have this conversation again versus like having this conversation every time we bump the milestone. Like right now we're talking about something we have no plans on working on in the near future. Whereas if someone brings it up again, at least there's a chance that its priority will have like changed because either we have more bandwidth or
Sure. And I think it got added to a milestone because someone bumped it. Someone bumped it in the issue. I think this was like back in March, probably.
Yeah, I think we moved multiple milestones. Yes, it was in 3.15 before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm happy to clear it so we can stop discussing this. I just think it's like as long as we have a way to come back to it and actually review, I'm good.
Yeah, I think we just need to review the triage. Like once we start the planning for the next one, maybe after 3.17 is out, we can do a planning one and then go through the triage list.
Okay. All right, then.
And then sort by like thumbs up or whatever.
Then are these also, do we want to persist these or do we want to clear them as well?
I think we should just clear them and then just start fresh in whatever we want. Yeah, because this has opened in 2019. Like most likely we're not gonna get to this one.
Yeah, like I think this list should be representative of stuff we're actually working on versus stuff that at some point
was
we're like,
assigned to someone who no longer is working on the project, so.
Yeah. So let's just clear all of them and then like only things that we want to, we'll add them like after July.
you know, all of those are assigned to people who are mostly no longer. I don't know if Anlan is still like, because I do hear from her like once in a long while.
Yeah, Anand works on the downstream components. So that
So this one, do we want to persist or move or just clear it?
Clear, like, yeah.
Let's just clear all of them. I think that like unless we absolutely want to do it, and then let's just do it on July. And then we'll go through the triage list, sort.
That's yeah. As long as we actually come back to the.
Yeah.
I just feel like that review meeting is going to be super long.
We're never going to clear our backlog unless we like get more people. It's like,
okay,
there's no amount of like rejiggering work processes that gives us more capacity to actually write code.
Well, which one do we feel like we can do in 17? I think these are, we said 17. What about this one? No, I don't think anybody's working on that.
Yeah, that one should go away because it's been effectively destaffed.
This one?
I mean, Jay, are you working on this one or?
No, I'm not working on PubSub or any of the related stuff right now.
Yeah, let's clear that one too. We can revisit it.
You don't think you will work on it on 18?
No, I'm saying let's just look into it when we discuss 18 plans.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, this one too.
I'm not saying we're not going to work on these for 18. I'm just saying like, hey, let's just start fresh and don't just carry over the.
How about this one?
Yeah, same.
Same. Yeah.
Are we just less interested in PubSub nowadays? Is that kind of the thing?
I think we're still interested. I think it's just the VAP is taking more priority than that.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
See, that's why I said that these ones make sense to just go to 318. You know you're gonna work on it like after VAP anyway, so now
Yeah,
it's
and then I think we'll just revisit them when we do the 318 planning instead of like just my
This
point was like we just carry it over and then there's just a whole lot of stuff every release that we have to go through.
That is this one is essentially a dupe of
scoped enforcement action, but there is no like issue for that. There are just PR, so I'm gonna link them to this issue.
oh, I thought
It's already linked. This is the scoped EA that we are tracking. Yeah.
Yeah.
there was a bug for scoped enforcement action and the milestone at the bottom of that hot list actually.
no, that's a PR.
It's a PR.
It's duplicating the milestones. Yeah. We added the issue and the PR.
So we're good then.
Yeah.
So just these four, right?
I mean, not so 3.
4.
One is issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is for this.
Yeah. So it is the duplicate of it. So say one thing. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's natural to have duplicate issues and PRs.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's 3 total things. There is just shows us 4, but they're like 3 things.
Okay, so when are we doing the 318 thing?
Yeah, so let's add it to the calendar. So after we cut the July release, maybe after the one after meeting, let's do a triage. And then you can sort by the thumbs up in triage if you want. So and then we'll go through them, whatever we need. Any other internal stuff we need, say like the PubSub admission or whatever, right? And then whatever is realistic, we can add it.
Already.
Let me add it to the agenda now before we forget.
Okay, cool. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we're even still under time.
We said cutting the release on July 31st, right?
Well, is that the RC? That's if you're talking about after the RC will be a week before that, is that right?
I think we can just decide now. That doesn't matter. We can just say RC on 31st. And then week after that will be the
Let's do
regular.
RC on the to give people more time, I guess.
Okay, let me add it to the thing. July 31st, RC 0 is cut. And then week set August 7, I'll put it on the calendar. Triage. Okay. And then we'll say like I guess August 7, like first week of August is release.
Sounds good. All right, I gotta run. All right. Good to see everyone. Bye.
Good to see you.
Yeah.